In an unprecedented move, President Donald Trump has warned the American people of a potential false flag attack in the United States in the wake of the release of the FISA memo which the Democrat Party and their FBI is desperately trying to deflect attention from. Although in these comments which he made the day before giving the State of the Union were largely overlooked, President Trump said we also need to look at what might be the inner workings of false flag events which have affected our nation. These statements were reported in January 30 PBS NewsHour story where they stated we need to look at President Trump's comments in light of 9/11, Pearl Harbor and numerous other huge events that have briefly unified America. Via PBS, I would love to be able to bring back our country into a great form of unity, Trump said. Without a major event where people pull together, that's hard to do. But I would like to do it without that major event because usually that major event is not a good thing. The president also said the country's divisions date back to both Republican and Democratic administrations.